Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody, and a happy Monday morning to you. I missed you guys yesterday. Okay. There's so much to cover because you know me, I have to do the the working royals. Then we have the Earthshot prize. Then we have all this other stuff that's out there. So this is going to be a super long video. So let's just buckle up and get there because there's a lot. Let's go. Starting out, I'm guessing now that William and Catherine have left and people are still abuzz about the Earthshot prize. Harry and Meghan are still putting stuff out. I'm shocked. Harry did a Christmas video message for a charity telling kids who lost their parents that they should still have fun during the year, and he was dressed as Spider-Man. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Prince Harry, who went from this and this to this. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. My goodness. All right, moving on. Thank you to Baroness Beck. It looks like Archibald Audio staff, once again, the revolving door. Serena Cadilla Reagan, I have no idea who that is, has now announced that she's the new head of audio at Archewell. Problem is, that's supposed to be Rebecca's job. Maybe she just hasn't updated her profile? You never know with these things, right? But guess what? Mandana Diani has now removed Archewell from all of her social media bios. Now, you can't really blame her for wanting to run. She's an attorney. She's very, She's very popular, and she's done a lot of wonderful things. Wonderful things that I might add that Harry and Meghan have tried to take credit for. Seriously, has anybody else noticed? I'm not trying to be mean. Has anybody else noticed since the United States, forget the UK, since the United States, how much staff they've gone through? It's like a revolving door. But can you really blame her? Because Archewell tried to take credit for opening up a text service that they didn't do for the voting. They tried to take credit for the I'm a voter. That was not them. That was Mandana Diani's baby. She started that in 2018. It's just like with the purses. Meghan Markle tried to take credit for it. But the truth is, it was Mandana Diani. Maybe she just got sick of Meghan Markle trying to take credit for all of her stuff. I told you before, if Mandana Diani opened up a charity, I would so be behind her. I think she should. All right, moving on. Also, Sarah Reicht, Mandana's personal assistant, also left at the same time and now works for Mandana in her new venture, Guard Ventures. So now it's coming out, you guys, that, they're breaching their own privacy. And so what are they saying? We never wanted privacy. We never asked for privacy. But that headline says it right there. They didn't want to be left alone. They wanted to try to control the narrative. They didn't like it when people called them out for being hypocrites. So when you see articles like this one above, they publicly revealed their struggle under the media spotlight. Yes, people had every right to think that they were leaving for privacy, but that's not really what they were leaving for. They wanted to control the narrative. When they are talking about the, ecological things and we have to save the planet, and then they took 13 private jets, they didn't like that. The fact that Meghan only worked 75 or 79 days in 2 years. That's the problem. I heard about her complaining that after whatever they were doing, she had to go home and actually cook. She expected to be waited on, and things didn't work out that way. Moving on, an article came out saying that the Queen tried to get Prince Harry and Charles on speaking terms in her final months, and it didn't work. And apparently, Charles did stop taking Harry's phone calls because all he did was beg for money. By then, the family had heard about the book deal. They didn't want to talk to him on the phone. They knew they could be taped. They wouldn't Zoom call him. So Charles asked Harry to send emails. Apparently, Harry was really bugging the Queen. she was fielding so many calls that she went to Charles, and Charles just flat out said, "I'm not a bank. Put in your request via email through my personal assistant." Charles gave them millions and then a final payment of over $3 million before the Oprah Winfrey show. And then what did Harry do? He went on TV and whined that his dad had cut him off. He didn't mention about the trust fund money he had, or how much was in that trust fund. It was like $30 million. It's a joke. Now, the next bit of information that came out was, we all know that the Queen banned Netflix from being anywhere on any palace property because the family did not want to be in the Netflix documentary. And so what did Harry and Meghan do? They took a photographer onto Buckingham Palace. Anyway, this picture right here proves it. They had people taking photos, and they specifically went against the rules. I mean, what does that tell you? They had no respect. If they respected the Queen, they would have respected her rules. So there you go. And now, we'd all heard the stories that they were taping in areas they weren't supposed to be taping in. There's always a smidge of truth to that. And this is where I think you're going to see that they were taking photos all along. For those of you who don't recognize this is the foyer to the back gardens of Buckingham Palace, which is right below what was the Queen's personal apartments. She would not have approved anybody taping there or photographing anything there. They were already in deep with Omid. You can just tell, look at this, inside Meghan Markle's emotional private goodbye. Whoops! Omid Scobie standing behind her. What do you know? Yeah, private my rear. Next up, the stories are coming out that Harry's been warned, if you don't stop, you're like out. So what's coming out now? That Harry and Meghan are going to try to fix their relationship with King Charles once the documentary and once the book comes out. But it's been said that by King Charles, if he criticizes Camilla, the love of his life, if he attacks Camilla, it's over. I have a feeling it's over. And the Sun said that the royal family should just cut them adrift, let them go. Yeah, and then pointing out there wouldn't be enough barf bags for everybody. But I agree, they should be cut adrift. They're saying that the crisis talks are going to take place when they get home. Here's what needs to happen. Harry and Meghan wanted out. They wanted to step back from the royal family. They wanted their freedom. Give it to them. Strip the titles. Let them know that their kids will not be prince and princess. Take them out of the line of succession and give them the freedom that they've been whining to you that they want. Give them what they want. And the sooner the better. That way all that drama will be months and months behind you by the time the coronation rolls around. You guys, even the women on The View are starting to question this. The only person on The View that really loves Meghan and Harry is that woman, Sunny. I think she might be a Sussex Squad member. You know what I mean? She's one of those ones that believes every word that drips from Meghan's mouth, even when there's proof offered. All right, just a couple more items. They're saying that their relationship with Netflix is going to be over because there's been so many bust up behind the scenes, just like with the family. Apparently, the head guy got into it with them. And Neil Sean himself said that Meghan Markle created the content and handled the whole thing. That doesn't surprise me. She doesn't like to give other people control. And talking about that Netflix disaster train wreck that we're watching in slow motion, do you guys remember this picture? And they tried to make it look like these were all of the people that were hounding Meghan Markle. Well, you should never mess with the Twitter detectives because as you can see, that is a stock photo from 2011. My God. You know who else is watching this saga? Tom Cruise. It's said that he's shocked by Meghan and Harry's behavior and that he used to be a big fan of Meghan's and he even considered getting her involved in one of his movies. Yeah, he was excited about the possibility of working with her, but now with all of this going on, off the table, they're saying he wants nothing to do with them. They're saying that, God, how do you put this? Harry and Meghan are so envious because they have no really bigwig Hollywood friends. I think that was Meghan's goal all along. Move back. People are going to want to be their friends. Everything's going to be fine. But now they're in a coordinated campaign against William and Catherine. That's very obvious at this point. And Hollywood has paid attention. They want nothing to do with them. You know, Ellie Goulding also, I think a lot of people saw what was going on, and she put up this tweet, despite distractions, these are the people we should be paying attention to. I agree. A lot of A-listers saw this ridiculous attempt to draw the attention. Next up, remember I showed you the likes and dislikes in my other video about the Netflix documentary? Yep. Thank you, Taz, for this information. Moving on. All right, you guys, I just had to bring this little snippet up. Remember, Andy Cohen was on the Archetypes podcast. And remember, Meghan Markle threw it in his face that they had met several times and he didn't remember her. And he hinted he considered her something of a whatever person when they met for the first time. So on his own podcast, he said, she was gleeful in telling me. I had to say she was so happy to tell me that, but then added, I understand why she would want to throw that in my face, basically. Genevieve said it best, saucer of milk, table one. All right, one more little tidbit before we move on to the Earthshot Prize. Remember when Catherine was at Harvard and she signed her name and she saw where Charles just signed his name and he just simply wrote Charles on the date? Our unpretentious princess simply wrote Catherine and the date. Love it. Moving on, I have to do the regular royal stuff, guys, so here we go. For the throwback week, day 4, the coronation of King George III and Queen Charlotte took place in 1761 at Westminster, and this is a ticket to get in. Can you imagine? So cool. And for Explore Your Archives Day 5, in 1920, June, a garden party was held at Buckingham Palace for recipients of the Victorian Cross, which was awarded for very valor, it was rarely awarded in the presence of the enemy, and it was recorded by both King George V and Queen Mary in their diaries. I love it. Next up, to mark International Day for Persons with Disabilities, Countess of Wessex Sophie went to WizKid and met some of the people there they support and learned more about their services and activities for young wheelchair users. Next up, the University of London had Foundation Day, and Her Royal Highness Princess Royal Anne presided over the event that marked the award of the Royal Charter in 1836. Also for Princess Anne, she went to Bangor and joined members of the local community for a special ceremony at Bangor Castle to confer city status, which it received as part of the late Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. And in case you didn't notice that outfit she's wearing, that's the same one she wore to the Falkland Islands. However, that's a skirt, and on the Falkland Islands, she wore the same top with matching pants. Love it. All right, here we go. The Earthshot Prize. This is exciting. Okay, so to start with, actor Rami Malek was one of the first ones to get there. He must have been like so excited. I know I would have been. And he was looking dapper. Catherine O'Hara was there. So was Bo Welch, although I don't have a picture of Bo Welch. Also there was Annie Lennox. I love the outfit. She's just like, putting it out there. Next up, we had singer-songwriter Ellie Gould. I love that white dress that she's wearing. She looks gorgeous. What people were really waiting for was to see Catherine, and when she came out in a $91 rented gown, everybody just gasped. The gown was rented. You know what wasn't rented? The shoes and that necklace, the choker and the earrings. So they arrive and William looks a little nervous. He's messing with his tie. They get out of the car and they go up to the woman waiting. Here's a snippet for you. Now, with that, they walk on to the green carpet. Yes, green carpet. And you couldn't help but notice Catherine. Now, it was reported, just FYI, they attended a private reception at the Four Seasons Hotel that morning, but we don't really know much about that. Anyway, here's a clip of them getting into position. Watch this. I mean, come on, guys. She if she hadn't married William, she could have been a supermodel. Like, seriously. I mean, I've never seen the woman take a bad photo. All right. So they're walking there. They're standing there. They're smiling. She's looking phenomenal in her $97 rented dress, which will probably get auctioned off and the money go to charity afterwards if the rental company is smart. That's what they'll do next. She looked phenomenal. He looked phenomenal. I mean, what do you say? And they looked relaxed. I don't think what was going on during the week affected them. I really don't. I think they stayed focused and they weren't living rent-free in somebody's head. He looked great in velvet. You know, last year it was the green velvet. This year it was the blue velvet. I love that. So after they were done standing there for photos and waving at people, they turned around. And, of course, he put his hand on her lower back. And I think she probably grabbed his hand and was like, stop that. Because you know how she's the one who doesn't like PDA. We've shown that in the past. And they went in where there was a line of people waiting for them to meet. But then another controversy popped up. Rumor mill has it that choker, which is worth more than the cost of Harry and Meghan's house, was wanted by Meghan. One of the stones was wanted for her engagement ring. That's the story. I tried to look it up. Some other people found some stuff, but that's the story. She wanted one of those emeralds, and the royal family said, no, we're not taking that necklace apart. That necklace, by the way, was a gift to Diana from the Queen as a wedding gift. We all remember, I think, or most of us do, we all remember Diana wearing this. This photo was from before the wedding. I mean, she wore it a lot through the years. She always looked gorgeous in it. And at one time, if I remember correctly, and I'll see if I can find, okay, I found the photo. Yeah, she wore it as a forehead. I forgot what you call that, but she wore it around her head as a headband. And she looked phenomenal doing it. Her outfit, her dress, the jewelry, that was a home run, let me tell you. The glamour was amazing. Okay, so now other people were there. You had Chloe Bailey and Holly Bailey attended this ceremony together. Joe Kennedy was there. I mean, you have to know. Of course, David Beckham was there. He pulled up in a Rivian, which is the new electric vehicle. John Kerry, the U.S. envoy, was there, looking dapper. You had co-hosts Clara Amfo and Daniel Dacom. I think I'm not saying that last name right, but okay. Radio broadcaster Clara Amfo was there looking very nice. Of course, actress Shailene Woodley looked absolutely phenomenal. Then they went down the line greeting people. Here's a snippet.
Here we are.
Now, for those who are wondering, all the food was vegan and locally sourced. All the transport was electric cars. They banned all single-use plastic products. All the trees and decor are to be redistributed. The green carpet they were walking on was from last year. The decor was burlap. All the outfits were reworn or sustainable. I mean, they were proving everything in all that they were doing. So it became time for the room to start filling up with people. You can see this is just phenomenal. The dignitaries were the ones that were sitting down in front, you know, John Kerry, Governor Baker, that sort of thing. I mean, you can just see people, you see them up at the top. Here's a small little snippet also to show you somebody, you know, was panning around looking at all the people in the room. I mean, it was just packed with people. Looked fun, and you could tell that no matter where you were seated, you had a good shot. You could see what was happening no matter where you were in the room. Here comes William and Catherine walking to their seat. Here's a snippet for you. First of all, this woman has amazing posture. I always sit back in my chair. I don't sit up straight. Number two, they got a standing ovation even after everybody else sit down because I think everybody's aware of what's been going on this week. Okay, so then it started, and here comes Catherine at one point. She started out to give, because, she was also giving an award. She looked absolutely amazing on the stage. There were a lot of people giving awards. Obviously, I don't have photos of all of them, but don't you just love, you can see the orchestra sitting to the right, and they're sitting like they're part of the greenery. And then Catherine standing there in her green dress with the choker. I mean, it just looks absolutely magical. Of course, when Catherine finished her part, then it was William's part, looking dapper in that blue suede jacket. I love it. And then some other photos came out, and the people up there, that was Beckham, David Beckham standing there. And here are your winners. William gave a very moving speech. Here is a copy of it if you want to freeze and read on your own. Now, when the whole thing is over, of course, they had a reception afterwards. All the stars were in there. Yeah, look at William. Just look at the way he's staring at Catherine. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. Anyway, they went around the room talking to everybody. Now, this is interesting. This is Ellie Goulding, and she gets around. Okay, not in the way you think. That didn't come out right. She was with Sophie and Edward in England 2 days ago. So this is the second time in a week that she's met royalty. That's what I meant. Anyway, they went around the room speaking to everybody, saying hello, thanking everybody for coming and giving their time and effort towards the prize. I just think it was such a wonderful event. You see Annie Lennox in the background there. Then, of course, David Beckham. Watch this. Just like Tom Cruise, David Beckham had a side to pick, and he picked it. Good for him. So I'm going to end with this article that while Harry and Meghan continue to paint themselves victim, and we're going to hear about their love story again, because we didn't get it in Finding Freedom. We didn't get it in the Oprah show. We didn't get, oh my God, one trick ponies. It's like, I'm telling you, 10 years from now, they're going to have her crying, I'm a victim on TV. I mean, really. But Harry and Meghan are at the bottom of the spectrum, and William and Catherine have risen above it all, and they're just doing what they do. And as a result, they're winning. And obviously, they are living rent-free in Meghan and Harry's brain. That's the best part. All right, I wanted to finish up this video. Yeah, no makeup. I went to physical therapy yesterday because I think I've told you guys I've torn my rotator cuff. So I go to physical therapy. And I looked at my therapist and I said, where are you from? And he gives me the name of some town. And I said, no. Where are your people from? And he looks at me and goes, oh, India. I said, do you think that that's a racist comment? And he goes, no. And I said, okay, thank you. That was all I needed to know. So for the average person, it's not racist. Also, I said, do you know about Catherine and William? He goes, oh, yeah, Prince William and Princess Catherine. Yeah, aren't they in the United States? I said, yeah, for the Earthshot prize. Have you heard about all this controversy with Harry and Meghan? And the man looked me straight in the face and said, who's Harry and Meghan? So as I've said before, the majority of the people in the United States don't know anything about them and could care less. So, yeah, just wanted to point that out. All right, you guys, you know what I'm looking for. First of all, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. Second of all, make those comments that you're leaving good. You know what I'm looking for. You know it. So just do it. Don't forget to go up in the description box. You'll find the links there to Twitter, Getter, Rumble, my email, my Patreon account if you want to follow me. For those of you who've donated through the thanks button into my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.